Okay, we're up to review number 4 now. Got the Tigers now. This is going to be a little bit different as the Tigers got a new coach in, so uh, this stuff might not be as relevant. So I've included a few uh, game strategy slides in there to at least get something out of this. Okay, as always, we've got the stats. Like I said, not entirely relevant due to the new coach, new game style, possibly. They might keep some elements, so this could be helpful. So how to beat them? You got to play team defense rather than one-on-one. They're quite a good one-on-one team, as you can see from here. We've got one-on-one offensive win percentage, they're third in the league, and then one-on-one defensive win percentage, they're fourth in the league. So don't want to take them on one-on-one. You want to have teammates around to help. Second is to control the footy and work hard for uncontested marks. Richmond force a lot of opposition turnovers, and they intercept mark second best in the league. And they also concede a lot of meters gained per disposals. They limit handball use, and they get you to kick it long and create turnovers that way. And then thirdly, set up well behind the ball. They've got players like Tim Taranto in the clearance. They just hack the ball out. They kick the ball long from clearances, from stoppages, and you can see here 18th in kicking efficiency, 18th in clangers, and 17th in disposals per turnover. So if you're set up behind the ball, you can take real advantage of it. In the game we're reviewing, James Sicily took 10 intercept marks. I think it was tied for an AFL record. Just because the Hawks were set up behind the ball well for the first 3 quarters. Okay, when Richmond are at their best, they're causing front half turnovers and creating scores off them. They're putting a lot of pressure on to force teams into clangers. They weren't able to do this in the first 3 quarters against the Hawks this game. The Hawks used the corridor so well, and were really picking them apart. You can see the Hawks in these first 3 quarters here. Plenty of use in the midfield. They won the first quarter by 6 points, second quarter by 15, third quarter by 9 points. So they've won all 3 of those quarters. This one's a bit closer to the boundary line, but still plenty of use through the middle. You can see Richmond really shut it down in the last quarter, and the Hawks couldn't get any corridor use. Richmond won this quarter at the end here by 31 points, so you can see the difference. We've got 2 videos coming up to show you how they switched up their defense against the Hawks to really create those turnovers. Okay, the defense played on the Hawks during the first quarter, left a lot to be desired. They transitioned the ball very easily in this first quarter, right through the middle. I think they did it 6 times for 4 scores, which is an incredibly high rate. And we'll have a quick look why. Mainly because they want to use this area of the ground here. And as we play this clip, you can see that the Richmond players look to cover the boundary a little bit more than this inside area. It still takes a ripping kick from Scrimshaw to open this game up, but we'll roll through this. See, they're all running out that way. He's running out that way. Opens up space here, right there, for a beautiful kick. And once the Hawks are there, if they've got someone out the back, they can reach it with one kick. Goes to Wingard, who then plays on to McGuinness, and McGuinness gets a very lucky goal here. But that's how they played in the first quarter. Okay, so in this clip, we've got the opposite defense. They're playing man on man. They're 10 points down with 9 minutes to go, so they have to push up, try and create turnovers. Unfortunately, this clip doesn't really highlight my point too well, as Hawthorn do end up working it out up into their forward line. But it shows you how slow they had to move the ball. They almost get into the midfield, but some good defense up the ground from Richmond stopped them from doing that. So we'll just roll through it now. As you can see, there's a lot more coverage in the midfield, in the middle, because they're playing man on man. Good switch there. Bolton's a bit too far, so they would work it there. And then once we get the camera to switch back, they're able to hit one short into the middle, Weddle, which is where they want to be. But they've got numbers there to shut that down and force them wide. And then the numbers peel across and really shut them down so they can't go anywhere. Mitchell should have used these short options because there's nothing on, but they take the game on and they work it into the forward line. Okay, we've got a centre bounce stoppage here in the second quarter. Richmond's sort of forwards setup is these two triangles. So we've got the first triangle here and then the second triangle here. So this player here is going to push up into the contest to be at the back of the front of the stoppage. These players are going to spread out to add some width to the ground, and then these three are our leading targets if someone breaks out of the midfield. If we roll through, we'll just quickly take a look at the defensive setup. So we've got Daniel Rioli here ready to run off and be an option, but he's getting tagged by Finn McGuinness, and then the rest of the Richmond defenders playing man-on-man. But as we saw in the stats, they're very good at winning one-on-ones. So by the Hawks being so spread out here and creating space, playing into their hands a little bit, and Bolt is able to chop that one off there. Okay, so we've got a D50 stoppage here. In the back, in the forward line here for Richmond, they've left Sicily as a spare. They've got their spare at the back of the contest here, which probably in this game wasn't the best move. Sicily was chopping everything off. And then also a mistake maybe is they're taking the inside here. The Hawks defenders are on the outside to stop any run from coming across onto this side of the ground, which they try to do. So the spare here gets involved. They've got a lot of numbers around the ball, and they spread it wide here, so we'll roll through this. If they kick it long, it's straight into Sicily's hands, but they work it out quite nicely. However, Broad's got no one to kick it to because, as we said, the Hawks took the outside of the stoppage. They weren't letting him get boundary side, and so they had nowhere to run into and lead. Okay, so this is the part of the game strategy that I was talking about. We're going to be analysing the advantage of the Hawks dropping back a spare and a disadvantage time where they drop back the spare. They actually drop back two spares. They drop back Will Day, and then Richmond matched that spare, so Hawks drop back another defender. So they're playing an 8-man defense. So the two players in this that we want to focus on are Will Day and Jarman Impey here, who's guarding Shai Bolton. What happens is Richmond win the stoppage here. They kick it long to this contest here, and Jarman Impey has confidence to go off his man here and impact this stoppage because he knows that Bolton is just going to run back into the forward line. He's going to run straight into Day. So there goes Impey. No care about Bolton because Day is back here to cover him if he needs. And so that's a time where you get an advantage from having a spare. Okay, now we're going to look at the time where the Hawks were disadvantaged by having the spare. One thing about being a spare is you have to impact the contest. And if you're going to punch the ball, probably punch it to the boundary is the 2 points from this video. So we'll just pause it as soon as this bloke kicks it. Just there. Just here, I think, is the Richmond player, Camden McIntosh. He is the wing or defender that has been opened up by this spare. He's on the far side of the ground and he's ready to push into the forward line. Look how open it is. He's got no one on him because the spare's at this contest. So Day punches the ball, punches it directly forward, probably want to go to the boundary line in that situation. Sort of Richmond work it around a little bit, and Bolton sees McIntosh coming at the back of the square. Dillmore's run in to defend him, but he's too small, and McIntosh kicks an easy goal. Okay, so we got last 2 minutes offense that Richmond played. They end up kicking a class goal from Baker here. Mistakes by Hawthorn, good plays by Richmond sort of lead to this, so we'll roll through it and pause it as need be. So we've got a contest here. The first thing I want to note is, see the Hawks players diving on this. Frost grabs the ball here. Revolt doesn't dive on his back. He just holds him out. because they're down with such little time left, the last thing they want is a stoppage. They want the ball to keep flowing and feed out. So Frost has no choice but to flick it out, because if he gets tackled now, that's holding the ball. So he flicks it out. Richmond are able to gather it and then kick it long in. And a second mistake here. Will Day and both Will Day and Connor Nash go up for this, but Will Day punches the ball right here. Last minute of the game, going up for a spoil, has to be out this way, it has to be out this way. It can't be this way. It's too open there. You've got to get back into that congestion. So he punches it. Great rove by Baker. Stunning left foot snap, and that's a goal. They take the lead. Last 2 minutes on defense for the Tigers. Up 1, a minute to go. First thing, wingers right here. They're going to roll back into defence and really clog it up. The Hawks are going to be there with them, so there's going to be 16 players in the forward line here. Not a lot of space. And then secondly, these 5 Richmond forwards, they're going to go up to the stoppage here and try and get a repeat stoppage and clog it up. Hawks can't afford to get a repeat stoppage, so they need to be attacking on the move here and try and generate a clearance. We'll cut to they do get a repeat stoppage here, the Tigers, later on, 30 seconds down the line. And we can just see what they do here. So once we back out, there's so many numbers around this ball. All the Richmond forwards are up. They're taking on the defensive side a bit of the stoppage. And then they got an option out here who can run back or be a kicking target. And here's a kicking target. And the thing you want to do in this is get controlled footy. They get a bit lucky with controlled footy there, but they're able to just kick it around for the rest of the game.